Welcome back to the Erin Cruz Show. I know I say that. I've said that like 5 times now, and we're periscoping, and we're YouTubing, and we're Facebooking, but we only have a few more days to get out that vote and to help get California back on track. We have a really, really important district that we're going to talk about right now. It's up towards the more northern part of the state of California. We have a candidate, Vicki Nohrden. She's running for California State Assembly in District number 9. You know,
29.
29. Is that a typo? There's a typo. All right, it's 29,
yeah.
Folks. Go ahead and make sure that you adjust if you've taken notes or anything else. But yeah, I'm going to tell you, you're in the most northern part of the state, at least in the top third. How are things up there? How is your race going?
Wow. Thanks, Erin. First of all, I really do want to say thank you so much for the opportunity to be on the call today, and just to say thank you for running, for the state Senate seat, for the U.S. Senate seat, and I'm looking forward to you back on that ticket. So we need more people like you as well. I'm in a very beautiful, beautiful district. I'm in a beautiful district. It's known as Assembly District 29, which for your listeners, I'm in the Monterey Bay area. So it encompasses the Monterey Bay area, Santa Cruz, and up into a portion of Santa Clara County. So it crosses 3 counties, and it's a very beautiful area. It's mostly the coastal area of Monterey County. It doesn't include really the agricultural area, which is South County and Salinas, nor does it include the agricultural area of Santa Cruz, which would be Watsonville.
Right.
So it's a very beautiful area. I'm running against an incumbent who's been in the seat for about 6 years, and he's running on a different platform than I am. I'm running on a Republican, a conservative platform.
Conservative, I love it. I mean, not just Republican, but a conservative platform. You know, we have a lot of problems in the state of California, and I spoke to Roxanne Hogue. She's running for another assembly seat here in California. What we were talking about earlier is that, these people, your current incumbent there has only been in office for 6 years, right? But this is the thing. He's been in office for 6 years. These people have been in power for a very long time. And what are they accomplishing? And certainly what they're accomplishing isn't helping California. What are some of the things that he has done which you will do differently when elected to office?
Well, I would like to say one thing to begin with. I'm not sure how familiar your listeners are with the candidate statements and what they get in the voter guides. And it costs about $12,000 in my district, District 29, because of 3 different counties to file that candidate statement. So we consider the 250 words that we want to write. Absolutely. We consider what do we want to communicate to the voters. Well, I just want to say that my opponent, he filed the same candidate statement he filed 2 years ago. The only difference on that candidate statement was he was 2 years older. And I just thought, how much time did you take to really think about what you wanted to communicate to the people? Or are you sitting in that seat and just thinking you're going to continue to sit in there and not do anything different, and everybody's going to vote for you because you think that we live in a district that has voted a certain way in the past? And I just thought that really did not take into consideration the people of the district. And he really hasn't.
Insulting, as a matter of fact.
I know. I think it was too. I was.
And you want to know who you're voting for. Ignore the D, the R. That should be giving a message to the potential constituents on how they're going to make up their mind.
Exactly. The only reason I know it is because when I first filed for my papers in February, I had asked for some copies of candidate statements to take a look and think about, okay, well, what have people done, and get an idea as an example. And so they did give me, so he did give me that one. And so I thought, well, let me just see. And they were just the same. And I was like, I can't believe this. Why didn't he even take the time to communicate the message of what he's done over these past 2 years to the people? And to me, that said a lot. And so I just pointed out because it.
Thank you for saying that.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing that up. It says a lot about his character as well. We have somebody who's running for governor. We have John Cox who's running for governor. Oh my gosh, I'm really, I supported Travis Allen. John Cox made the ticket. I'm looking forward to casting my ballot and voting for John Cox against Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom, as a matter of fact, is just as arrogant as your incumbent. He didn't, if not a little bit more, maybe not. It depends on how you view it. He didn't even put a statement. These individuals
I understand.
who currently are in office just are not looking at the regular Joe as the beautiful, wonderful citizen of the United States of America who takes value in their vote, wants to make an educated decision, and cast their vote accordingly. It's just disrespectful.
Yeah, and I think it is. And even with, in regards to Gavin Newsom, he did not file a candidate statement. I understand because he wouldn't sign the paper that said he wouldn't go over a certain amount of money. So I would like to say to your listeners that these seats are not for sale, and they should not be for sale.
Ever.
And so and that has really been something I've wanted to say, because if you are going to put your hands behind your back and put your hand back there and take secret money and money behind the scenes, then why do I want to trust you with a whole entire state or a district? And that's something I think that I would like to. Yeah, it's a good-sized district, and the people in this community, they have concerns, and the concerns that they have are not the concerns that are really being addressed. And those concerns, we have a very large homeless population over in the Santa Cruz area. I live in Monterey County, and the opponent lives over in the Santa Cruz area, and over there they have a huge homeless problem. Lots of drug addicts, shooting up on the beaches, leaving their, plastic hypodermic needles on the beaches, and they're worried about the plastic straws, which I don't think many of them make it down to the beach. But I'm concerned more about the children walking on the beach and getting stabbed by one of those needles. So there's certain issues that he's not really addressing or looking at, and they're right in his face, right in his own community. And so those are some things that we do need to focus on, because that's the voice of the constituents who are saying we need to deal with the crime that's associated with the homelessness and the drug addiction. And I don't think those things are being addressed. They're passing bills that, sanctuary state and outlawing straws and charging a young waiter or waitress going to college, if they, in the Santa Barbara area, that if they deliver straws to people without asking, it's $1,000 fine per straw. It's absolutely ridiculous. Some of the things, about the future, about, for our environment and certain purposes are wonderful. We need to think about that, because we do need to think 5, 10, and 15, 20 years ahead of us. But when it becomes such control and things that just really don't make sense, I really file those under something called ridiculous. And I think that there's other things. Yeah. Well, it's true. I think that there's other.
I love that you say I like to file those under something I call ridiculous. It's true.
Yeah. And that file is getting a little bit too thick, by the way. And I think there's some things that, they need to change. We need to listen to what the people of our communities are saying, and not just think of what special interests want, what lobbyists want, and what somebody's giving you money. And I remember talking to a businessman over in Carmel. Actually, he's a restaurant owner, and I met with him. And the reason he met with me is because he doesn't like the opponent who's in the seat. And he told me that, he said to his face, that he was talking to him about the issues and things they needed help with. And he said, well, I support the unions. And I was like, wow, he said that right to your face? He said, yes. And so a lot of people aren't really very happy with him. And so they'll decide that when they vote. I'm hoping that we will have a good turnout, and that I will be able to win this seat, because I will go to represent the people of this district, and I will listen. I will work across the aisle, because I know how important that is. And Erin, one of the big concerns I really have right now, not only for my district or our state, but even for our nation, that there is such a great divide of party politics right now that, I say that if we don't deal with this, what's going to happen is the people are going to fall through the cracks, and that the people aren't going to be heard. And that needs to change.
Currently right now with Democrats
it is.
Or progressive left individuals who, I won't even call them Democrats, progressive left individuals
exactly.
who aren't looking to the real needs of the public and aren't working with the people who see the real needs of the people. They're agenda-driven with
agenda-driven
vision of what needs to take place to accomplish the things that the communities need to take place in order to be prosperous and provide for a safe community and strong families and all the other things that we all want, right? So now I have a question for you, Vicki, is you're going to go into office, and what are those top 3 things that you would like to accomplish in your first year while up there in Sacramento? I think the people want to know, what is your priority in terms of policies you want to take care of?
Yes. Thank you, Erin. Yes, one of the things I really want to look into is there is a proposition called Proposition 3 that was passed in 2004, and some of your listeners might be familiar with it. If not, it's really what was known as the $1 million tax. It's the 1% income on the people who earn $1 million or more in a year. And that money was supposed to be allocated to help mental health, and that money has been sitting. And I would like to know, what are we going to do with that money to get it going in the right place, in the right direction where it needs to go? And I believe that could be some monies and some help that could help the homeless situation that we're facing, not only in my district, but really all over the state. And all of that money should be allocated at the county level to the people there, so they would be able to take that money and incorporate it in their plan on how they're going to bring a solution to the homelessness problem. So that is going to be important to me, to see what our budget looks like, where that money's going, why it's not going, what it is being used for, and that is an important part for me. So I am going to look into that and get some answers. One of the other things that we've been working very strongly on in my campaign is the Yes on 6, and if your listeners have heard probably quite a bit about Yes on 6 with other people, we're standing to see that repealed. That's the proposition that's on the ballot, Yes on 6. So to see that the voters have a right to vote on things. So I'm not just going to go up there and pass things that the voters have a right to vote on. And I think that's really important. So the issues that, I'm concerned about are education and public safety. And public safety would include the homeless situation and the crime situation that has also, been happening around that. We, throughout the state, we have water issues. We need more water supply. The focus is, also sustainable, with the environment. So looking at the wind and the solar and the batteries and how we can do that, being that the governor has passed quite a few laws around that. So lifting red tape for the small business people so they can accomplish more, looking at why all the businesses don't want to come into California and why many of them are leaving. And I've spoken to quite a few business people, and they are actually saying, well, we're just leaving. And it's because there's so much red tape and there's so much government control and regulatory stuff, and that people don't want to come in here. So I want to make sure that we reach out to our business people to bring them into California, as well as deal with some of the issues that have been pretty prevalent in our communities.
Well, that's important. Now, I heard all of those issues are important. I heard a couple of things, a couple of pieces that you mentioned. Environmentalism. What I see is a bunch of regulatory reforms that are oppressive. Where would you stand on, say, giving companies, especially big organizations, small businesses have enough on their plate, just trying to operate every day and pay their employees and try to save so they can reinvest, so they can reinvest. But, where would you stand on, say, giving incentives to companies for meeting certain guidelines, as opposed to the opposite, which is what the state of California has been doing, is very oppressive, totalitarian. If you don't meet this, we're going to nail you, type of mentality of, well, we could just look at the carb situation and its carb situation and see that's going to cost us, me and you, a lot of money. And what is it really doing? How is it really helping us? Are you for giving incentives for better practices, better business practices?
Well, I think that would be a good idea.
And I'm saying
I think we could help.
Not give them money, but give them a tax break. I think that's part of it is we're not saying hand them something that they, that we've gotten from a taxpayer. We're saying, or what I'm trying to say right now is give them an incentive in terms of easing the financial burden to help encourage more investment, to be able to better their products, to be able to meet certain regulatory reforms.
Yes, I think that would be good to give them incentives. It gets them working towards the directive of, what they're wanting in the state, but it also gives them a break when they have to invest and spend more money to come up to those levels of that regulation. So yes, I would agree with that.
Yes, I mean, you're asking them.
It's a little bit too much, actually. What the current administration is trying to do, and the pressures, and even taxing drinking water, and our water bills already are so high in California, and we need to do something about water storage in the state of California. And I know that John Cox, running on as governor, he does plan to do something about that water storage on a statewide basis. And there's been a lot of opposition about water storage, and we really need that as well. So there are a lot of regulations and things, I think, if we can, get a turnaround for California, that we can see some changes. And one thing I'd like to say to the viewers, Erin, is that this is an opportunity like we have not had in a long time. All 80 of the assembly seats are up for election, 20 of the 40 Senate seats, all 53 congressional seats, and of course the U.S. Senate seat. And our executive branch of government, the governor, the lieutenant governor, the secretary of state, I go on. This is an opportunity. If the people will get out there and vote and really engage in this election, I believe that we can see California turn. And I believe that we can see this third seat in District 29 turn as well. And so I have been running a strong campaign, been very busy. This is my third interview today, and I have a meeting tonight. I was on the UC campus last night with the youth.
I didn't know it, but I just gave you thumbs up. So you have more
events
this evening, right? I mean, you're busy.
Yeah, I have another meeting this evening, and so we're reaching out to the community to talk to the people, and I can't go in there and change everything overnight, but I'm willing to work hard on behalf of the people and listen, and then vote accordingly, not because somebody wants me to vote a certain way. And our campaign hasn't taken money from all the unions and the other people. We've run a grassroots campaign, but we have done very well with what has been placed in our hands, and we still have about a week to go, but we're running strong. So those are some of the things I will focus on when I get there, helping to bring balance, I guess, to some of the things that seemingly are out of balance.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. We need real people in office, real pliable individuals who we can talk to, who are approachable, and who will listen to the constituency and meet the needs of the district. I can talk. It's been a long day. Where can we find more information about you? I want to connect people with your platform so they can familiarize themselves with your platform. What is your website?
Okay, thank you so much. My website is Vicki Nohrden, VICKINOHRDEN 2018.com. That's my website. And if you want to follow me on Facebook or Twitter, Facebook is Vicki Nohrden for California Assembly 29. If you type in my name, it'll probably come up, but it's the Assembly 29. And I have a lot of things posted on there throughout the campaign. People can see a little, know a little bit more about what I support and where I stand and the things that I've been looking at over my campaign since February. So that would be a good place to start, Erin.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, there's a lot of hard work ahead. You're in the home stretch here. The constituency has an opportunity to get to know you, to be able to cast their vote for you for positive change that will actually be restorative change and get that district back on track. Thank you for coming on the Erin Cruz Show again, Vicki. I would like to see if I can follow up with you, if not right before the election, but after the election as well. California does need strong leadership, and I believe you're it. You are it.
Thank you, Erin. I appreciate it. And I want to just say in conclusion that I have spoken to some of the people who are working up in the Assembly district up there, and I've had some support as well. And they just said, we need more women up here. There's about 20 women who are part of the Assembly, and the majority of them are not Republicans. And so I think that I have an opportunity to go and make a difference here in California. And I will be delighted that once I get there, Erin, please come and visit me in the office, and let's talk about how we're going to change California together.
Yes, absolutely. We need strong people in office and unity. And I think you said it well when you said working with people across the aisle. Now, I want to clarify, that doesn't mean that you're always going to do what people across the aisle want. You're going to work for the constituencies, and you need, in order to do that, you need to be able to accomplish some things. And in order to do that, you have to have those conversations. So we're so glad to hear that you want to do that good work. Thank you again.
Yes, I do, Erin. Thank you so much for your time and the opportunity to share with the people on the call today. I really do appreciate it, and I look forward to talking to you soon.
Absolutely. God bless you. Take care.
Okay, God bless you too. Bye-bye.
Well, folks, there you go. It's Vicki Nohrden. I actually had her name spelled wrong. It's VICKI Nohrden, Nohrden. Please go to her website, find out her information. Go to our hot tickets. We do have a hot ticket for her. You can go to my page, which is on Twitter, at Real Erin Cruz. Scroll down my tweets. You can also go to our other Twitter account, which is at Team Erin Cruz. Hot ticket candidates are there. Get their memes, share their information. Their website information should be on there. Follow up, help them. They need phone banking. They need door knockers. They need contributions. It is up to all of us as Californians to do what we can to help make restorative change and get this state back on track. God bless all of you. I hope you have a very good evening.